You got any victims in there? Okay, he's reported his girlfriend at the end of the hall.
Santa Barbara has had its share of disasters over the years, from fires to floods to earthquakes, and we've learned that preparedness is the key to safety. The CERT, or Community Emergency Response Team program, is available in Santa Barbara County to educate residents about disaster preparedness.
I always tell people when I'm instructing the class that if you ever felt like you never belonged to anywhere, once you join the CERT community, you definitely belong here. So it's just a unique bunch of individuals that take the class and also participate.
CERT courses are instructed by trained CERT graduates and professionals with a background in emergency response.
There's a term that we use called SUVs, spontaneous unaffiliated volunteers. And those are basically people who say, I live in the community, but I'm not affected, so I've come over here to help the people who are affected. What can I do to help? It's a more efficient use of manpower if those people have some level of training, no matter how minor it is, and CERT goes a long way to that. CERT-trained volunteers are the best volunteers that we can have in a large-scale incident.
The concept was created and implemented in 1985 by Frank Burden of Los Angeles Fire Department to train civilians and give them the necessary tools to save their lives and those of their neighbors in case of a disaster. In 1993, CERT was expanded nationally by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA.
While it was invented here in California, I've seen CERT used in the Midwest, in tornado situations, in the Southeast, in flooding, where a vast majority of the response is actually done by CERT members.
The 9-unit program is offered 2 to 3 times a year in the city of Santa Barbara and requires a 24-hour commitment. An annual CERT drill is held in the fall, allowing participants from all county jurisdictions to practice what they've learned.
We'll alternate the cities, across the Santa Barbara County. We offer it to all CERT graduates, instructors included. Everybody's invited to attend, and it's a mass casual incident that we simulate. They come in with their gear, their backpacks, and then they do the drill. Usually it takes place in the morning, and we just make it as realistic as we can. We have emergency responders. We have a lot of different organizations participate, like Red Cross, Salvation Army, and everybody's there simulating a real disaster.
The fact that the county tries to make this drill as realistic as possible also implies that despite being trained for this type of emergency, volunteers will see challenges in the drill they had not thought of before.
It was really, really fun. One thing that I learned was that I really need to work on my Spanish because they brought in some Spanish-speaking only victims, which was a great experience for me because I could communicate, but it showed me like, I should probably work on this a little bit more and strengthen those skills because how else am I going to communicate? But it did allow me the opportunity to A, see that it's something I need to improve on, but B, it allowed me the opportunity to communicate in other ways.
In response to the language barrier, the city of Santa Barbara piloted the first bilingual class where both English and Spanish participants work together on different unit exercises, but the lecture portion of the course is taught separately to teach the concepts more effectively.
We teach from the very first unit, which is general preparedness, knowing your hazards, knowing what to do at home in order for you to be a responder in the community. And then we go on to fire extinguisher or fire safety, fire suppression. Then we go into disaster medicine, team organization, light search and rescue. We talk about terrorism. We talk about psychological first aid. And so there's all these skill sets.
Even though there's no obligation, CERT graduates are encouraged to stay involved after completing the program by training to become instructors and community volunteers.
We've used CERT volunteers in multiple disasters. Refugio oil spill was one of them, but recently with the Thomas fire and the debris flow, we had some of the CERT graduates be in the call center, the county's call center. So they would go there and they would take calls from the community and provide them with information. We had some CERTs also be involved in other capacities like sandbagging and other traffic control. So they do get utilized by other jurisdictions.
There is also a teens program offered once a year during the summer. The program has been successful, leaving teens with the desire to do more, like Natalia Rios, who was part of the group of teens who started a CERT club at Dos Pueblos High School to educate their peers about what to do in case of a disaster.
Being in school, we're not with our parents, or, we're not technically, but like, we're on our own. So if we learn these things, we can help each other out.
The CERT program is funded through the Aware and Prepare initiative, a public-private partnership. It accommodates an average of 20 to 25 participants per course, and it's currently free.
So there's too many people in the city to not be educated and to help each other, because time is of the essence, and someone's life is at risk if they're really injured in a disaster.
Can you move? Okay, good, good.